But your little outburst on this morning was disgusting.
This is the narrative we're being fed. Here's the hotel, here's the phones, here's the iPad. Something major needs to be done about this.
It's the majority of what we're all feeling and thinking.
Actual victims, then something's gone wrong.
Rylan Clark's comments on illegal migration lit up headlines this week. He criticised hotel handouts for undocumented arrivals, praised legal migrants and called for balance. The backlash was swift. Ofcom complaints, online fury and even TV panellists trying to shut him down. Our channel has been growing fast. The last Tactical Truth hit over 250,000 views, and it's thanks to you subscribing and sharing. So hit that subscribe button now and join the conversation. I'm Phil Campion, former UKSF, and it's the Tactical Truth. Now let's take a look at what's being said by the mainstream media, shall we? Here we go then, here's Rylan, let's see what he's got to say.
That is a major worry. Now, taking politics out of this, let's just look at the country, Tim.
Yeah.
There you go. And one thing I do notice straight away is all the people sat round the table are acknowledging it, if not nodding in agreement, all right? From the very get-go. They're all like, oh, yeah, almost agreeing with it. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Will Rylan keep his job after this? Rylan has caused absolute chaos by speaking just common sense on This Morning on ITV, talking about illegal migration, and the lefties are absolutely losing it. Make sure you stay tuned, because after this we are going to look at Narinda's huge meltdown about this.
This country is built on immigration, legal immigration. You know, a lot of the nurses, the doctors that have saved my mum's life have come over here from other countries, are living a great life.
So he sets his stall out quite early. He makes sure that this isn't a rant. He makes sure that he's not hitting one particular group of people or the other. He makes sure that he's not getting things wrong. He obviously knows his surroundings. He's a television presenter. He knows that saying the wrong thing is going to absolutely have him slaughtered. So he's being very careful here.
They're paying into this tax system. They're helping this country thrive. I find it absolutely insane that all these people, one, are risking their lives coming across the channel like that they are. But two, when they get here, it does seem, and I think this is why a lot of Labour voters as well are now sitting there going, there's something wrong here. It seems, welcome, come on in. This is the narrative we're being fed. Here's the hotel, here's the phones, here's the iPad, here's the NHS in reception of your hotel, here's 3 meals a day, here's a games room in the hotel, have a lovely time and welcome.
So he's only pointing out what we're being told, and actually what these people like ITV have shown us.
And then there's people that have lived here all their lives that are struggling, that are homeless. Let's not even discuss our homeless. That are people living on the streets, veterans, all of this. Now, this isn't me getting on my soapbox, because let me be honest, everyone's going to have an opinion about this and you're going to upset someone some which way. I believe that
So he knows he's going to upset somebody, all right? You just know, don't you? As soon as you open this can of worms, somebody somewhere is going to get upset.
Something major needs to be done about this. The money that it's costing us, the amount of people that are in this country that we have no idea who they are, what they've done, what they're capable of, and clearly we see a...
Note the way they're all nodding in agreement here. They're all nodding in agreement. They're all looking in and they're all nodding in agreement, but they're not making any comment, are they? So underneath they're probably thinking, oh, here we go, oh, no. But they're all nodding in agreement. If they were that strongly opposed to what he's just said, why didn't someone go, right, nip it in the bud there, Rylan, stop that, shut up, no, not having it. They didn't, though, did they? Because if somebody says something in front of me I don't like, I challenge it. And that's what you're there to do as a TV presenter. Challenge what's being put in front of you. Or at least make them present it in a slightly different way. None of that's happening there, is it? Everybody's clammed up. They're like...
A lot of it in the press at the moment. What some are doing, it's not all, what some are doing to people in this country.
Very careful to tread round it again, wasn't he? Some, not all, some, not all. You know, not even saying who. Just alluding to stuff again there, isn't he?
If I turn up at Heathrow Airport as a British citizen and I've left my passport in Spain, I've got to stand at that airport and won't be let in and got to get this. But if I arrive on a boat in Calais, I get...
Because that is the legal route. And if you turn up the legal way without your documentation, you will get turned around at some stage. You will get held or you will get processed differently. So, yeah, I see his analogy, his way of putting things. which he's entitled to as well, and he should be.
Get taken to a 4-star hotel.
Sounds like common sense to me, but the lefties don't think so. Let's take a look at Narinda's huge meltdown.
A little message.
Right, there's this girl called Narinda. I don't actually know who she is, but she has a proper, complete meltdown over this. A complete, absolute, like someone's just done something to her. Do you know what I mean?
For Nigel Farage. Sorry, Rylan Clark. I get the two mixed up these days. Seriously, Rylan, I've met you before, liked you.
Oh, that had a massive impact, didn't it? Well done.
Liked you. But your little outburst from this morning was disgusting, despicable. You can do better.
Despicable and disgusting. All he's done is point out the bleeding obvious.
And don't you dare wrap it up as, oh, well, it's all unfair. Because if you wanted to talk about unfairness, you could have talked about billionaires not paying their taxes.
Oh, come on.
Corrupt politicians. You could have talked...
No one was caring about billionaires not paying their taxes at this stage of the campaign. It wasn't even up for offer. It wasn't part of the discussion. It wasn't what he was going on about. So that's completely... You're just sidetracking now to give another option, aren't you? You know, it's just... Yeah.
About a multitude of sins of the Tory government of the past 14 years. But no, you decided...
He didn't mention any government at all, did he? He actually made sure that he said this isn't political. I'm not targeting anybody here. You're the one who's now brought the Tories into it.
To wake up and punch down on vulnerable people who are drowning in the sea, trying to get desperate, trying to get to this country, and you wrapped it.
He's not punched down on anybody. He didn't mention anybody on any boat in particular. And we've all seen the pictures, and we all realise that some of the people coming across there, are exactly that, are extremely vulnerable people. But there's also imagery of people coming across the sea who aren't vulnerable, who are just there on their mobile phones, even filming it, taking the mickey. You're the one bringing all this up.
Then you started to kind of backtrack and said, well, actually, we like legal migrants. They looked after my mum so well. My parents were legal migrants.
He opened up with that. That was his opening gambit. So how can you twist this round completely and say that he tried to backtrack when he didn't try to backtrack at all? In fact, he punctuated it the other way. He brought that up first. So you now have just exposed yourself for having a personal gripe and dig for your own agenda at Rylan to try and highlight your own course.
Migrants, I know plenty of legal migrants, and they don't appreciate that you thought that that's okay, because we're at targets right now. Black and brown communities right now,
You've turned it into a race thing. There was no mention of race. There was no mention of this, that and the other. There was no mention of politics. And you have turned this on its head and turned it into a race thing. All right? That's what you've done. Inadvertently, advertently, on purpose, not on purpose, but that's what you've done. All right? He was just voicing what he thought. Surely he's allowed to do that. What do you lot think? Seriously? I think she's completely tipped that on its head, stripped it inside out, and presented it in a way that suits her.
Targets. There's a target on her back. 2 Sikh men have been attacked. A restaurant in a suspected racial aggravated attack. And all you can talk about is, well, we don't mind them. Shut up. Seriously, do better.
Okay, so to make sure that no black or brown person faces any sort of prejudice, we should just make sure that we have no border whatsoever and we have the fluffiest perks for anyone that wants to come here, just in case a black or a brown person receives a racist comment. I mean, it's genuinely insane. Of course I'm against racism. Of course I am. But just the way that she is framing this to basically say, she's almost saying, you want black and brown people to be assaulted and to face racist attacks. You want these vulnerable people to drown in the channel. It's just ridiculous. It's completely non-argument. Just it's a tantrum. It's not an argument. It is a tantrum. That's exactly what it is.
Swallow that lot then. We've just seen what the press are saying, but here's our summary. Rylan Clark isn't a politician. He's a TV host who made one honest comment, and suddenly the mob wants him cancelled. This isn't really about Rylan, it's about the state of debate in Britain today. Illegal migration is a national flashpoint. Soldiers have guarded borders, veterans have dealt with the fallout. And yet, when a celebrity dares to speak, the story isn't about the issue, it's about silencing them. Here's what we know. Rylan called out luxury hotels for undocumented migrants, and he's not wrong. The cost runs into billions. He's also praised legal migration, NHS doctors, carers, people keeping this country running. He asked for fairness, not division. But look what happened. 576 Ofcom complaints and public calls for him to be sacked. That's not debate, that's censorship. The real question is this: do we want a Britain where only politicians are allowed to speak about tough issues? Or do we believe free speech means free speech, even for a TV presenter? What do you think? Should Rylan be punished for speaking his mind? Or is this proof that Britain's lost the ability to debate without cancelling people? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to hear the conversations we can't discuss openly, join our membership for just 16 pence a day on ForceTV+.